All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Baso. This is Adrian. Today, we're going to do 5 glute exercises that are easier, I would say easier to activate your glutes. I know there's a lot of other glute exercises that you can do that entails doing hinges. Hinges are, if you haven't done them or sometimes you think you got it right, hinges are really a real technical technique to do to really engage your glute. So these 5, there should be no reason why you don't engage your glutes. And also, if you take the momentum out of it, a lot of exercises, you should be able to engage your glutes more and feel them. So these are 5 glute exercises, a little bit easier to do. And if you add time over tension with it, by the time you get through doing these 5 exercises, your glutes should be on fire. So make sure before you try any of these exercises, you consult with your doctor to make sure it's okay to do these exercises. Okay, exercise number 1 is called the fire hydrant. I know a lot of people do it the traditional way, being on your hands and knees and lifting your legs up, but this is a little bit more advanced and it takes the momentum out of the equation. So we're gonna get started. Andrea's gonna go into the fire hydrant position. The only difference is instead of starting with both knees on the ground, she's gonna start with the leg, which the glute we want to activate, which is the right glute. We're gonna actually put it on the bench. And it's good to isolate your glutes because a lot of times people do glute exercises and only really feel it on one side because of imbalances in their body. So this is a good way to isolate each glute. So the first 2 exercises is glute isolation. So you can isolate the left and the right glute. So we'll get started. Ready? So fire hydrant, you can use a bench. And it's just like, make sure the alignment, since she's doing the right side, make sure her left hand and left leg are perfect in alignment. They're in a linear plane. So the left hand can't be out here and the left leg in. And then when you do these exercises, don't bend your elbow. Your arm needs to be straight. So what she's going to do, scoot up a little bit more towards the bench. No, come this way. Yeah, good. Yep. So when she's on here, she wants that leg to be 90-degree angle on that bench. So not too far back and not too far forward. So it needs to be 90 degree from her body. So what she's going to do is she's going to do 30-second holds and we're going to do 30 reps. So the first one is always a warm-up one. So that way you can start to activate the glutes before we go into weights. So ready? Let's go. Lift. Hold it for 30 seconds. As you can see, I can put my whole hand up underneath the bench. If you don't have that kind of mobility, you can lay some mats, stack some mats underneath you and elevate it to get it to where it's a little higher. You're not bending your arm, right? Okay, good. All right, 30 seconds. Now she's gonna give me 30 reps. So she's gonna touch the bench and raise her legs as high as she can. Ready? 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's the first one. Start off with, and then what I mean by, if you don't have that range of motion or that mobility, you can stack mats or stack it up a little higher. So for the next one, we're going to add another mat. So let me demonstrate it. So you can stack these mats on top of each other to make it a little higher. That way, if you can't get your leg off the mat, that'll help you raise up a little bit more and get you a little bit more range of motion. But And end of the day, you need to work on your mobility so that way you can lift your leg up. All right, let's start set number 2. So always start with just your body weight, just to give a feel, and then progressively overload your next couple sets. You want to do at least 3 to 5 sets. Make sure you do both sides. You do right and the left, that's 1 set. Do 3 to 5 sets. Now, if you really want to engage and grow those glutes, go up to about 5 sets. Usually that 1 or 2 sets will just start to activate your glutes. Then the 3rd, 4th, 5th is where the real work starts at. So set number 2, we'll do a 10-pound weight, flat weight. So I'm gonna lay it right there on her thigh, and then she's gonna lift up. Set number 2, same thing, hold it for 30 seconds. Ready? Let's go up. See? Clearance, my hand going underneath it. These are a lot more difficult than doing it the traditional fire hydrant, where your hands and knees on the ground and just lifting it straight up. Your glutes on fire? Yes. See? 10 pounds. Now you can start with 5 pounds, then go to 10, just depending on your level. All right, 30 reps. That was 30 seconds. But when you add this time over attention, you'll realize how much more effective it is. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. See, she stopped. You know it's hard. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 10 more. See, she's doing increments of 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's a 10-pound weight. So a lot more glute activation when you do the fire hydrant using the bench. And if you don't have that range of motion or that mobility, just grab a couple mats and stack it up high enough so that you can do this. And it's based on how long your legs and how long your arms too. So the shorter your arms and legs, the bench is a little harder. So you can use mats to stack it up, make it a little higher. Again, start with body weight. You see Adrian had to stop 2 times with the 10-pounder. So you can start with a 5-pound weight, 10-pound weight, 15-pound plate, go up to a 20, go up to a 25. Eventually, again, progressive overload, get it to where you're getting more and more weight. So that was exercise number 1. So exercise number 2, we're gonna do the fetal position, the hip abductors, where you isolate the glutes. So let me switch this up. So go ahead, lay on the mat. Yes, facing that way. We'll do the left side, put that resistance band on. Since we did the right side on the glute for the hip adductors, laying down with the resistance band, we're going to do the left side so you can see. So there's three glute muscles. So depending on the position, it depends on which glute you're activating. So the fire hydrant activates your glute medius. The glute medius is very important for our hip stability, helping your hips, helping to support your lower back, helping to alleviate eventually lower back problems, knee problems. So not enough glute medius is being done. So I would definitely try to get about 5 sets of the glute medius on the fire hydrant. This is another one that works your glute medius. Now, if you get all the way into like a fetal position, it'll target your glute minimus. So that smaller glute, you'll activate that one. So there's 3 glutes, the glute maximus, the medius, and the minimus. So this works the smaller one. So the smaller one is a little bit behind all the 2 larger glutes. So if you focus working that one, so if that muscle grows, it'll actually expand and grow the other 2 parts of the glutes. So glute is where you're trying to, growth is where you're getting, do the fetal position. But it's hard to stay in that fetal position. So when you do these, record it so you can see it. So we're gonna do the more advanced one. So Adrian, chest is gonna be on the floor, on the mat. So see how she's twisted? Her whole chest is on the mat. Tuck your knees in all the way up to your chest. So this is the fetal position. So the target on this one is to target that small glute, the glute minimus. So what you're gonna do, she's not doing the clamshell. It's just like almost like the fire hydrant. So she's gonna lift her whole leg up. She got the resistance band around both thighs. Go ahead and lift that leg up as high as you can. As you can see, it's not a clamshell. So this is more advanced than a clamshell. So it'll really target that smaller glute. And as you can see, her body position, her chest is on the floor, it's not leaning back. So if you do this one here, you'll really feel it. Technique is very important when you're trying to target a specific glute. So she's gonna hold it for 30 seconds. All right, give me 30 reps. Then after she hold it for 30, then she's gonna give me 30. So we're gonna do 3 different variations of this one. So the first variation is with the resistant band. So after her 30, now this variation is more effective as far as how her body position is. Now, keep in mind that if you want it a little bit more challenging, you can always go with a harder resistant band. So that was number 2. That was exercise number 2, but variation number 1. Go ahead and take that resistant band off, Hayden. So get back in the fetal position. So, yep, check. So this one here is variation number 2, but exercise number 2. So, or you can say set number 2 and also variation number 2. So if you don't have a resistant band, you can use, if you have plates, this is a different variation. So you'll set this same thing right here on our thigh. Go ahead and lift up and then place it right there where it's level. So 25-pound plate, she's gonna hold it for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds, she's gonna give me 30 reps. So exercise number 2 for the glutes, also variation number 2. So the first variation we did, or the first set, we did with the resistant band. The second set, or the second variation, 25-pound plate. It's good to switch it up. Both are very difficult. So try both of them and see. All right, give me 30 reps. Not fast, you want to control it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, she's taking a break. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, this is your first time doing it. I wouldn't advise using a 25-pound plate. Adrian's strong, so we did a 25. So you may want to start with, you got those wider plates, the rubber, those bumper plates. You can start with a 10, then go to a 15, then go to a 25, so you can gradually go to it. So that's set number 2, exercise number 2, variation number 2. So we're gonna do one more variation, which is a little bit more difficult. So if you ain't feeling it by that first and that second one, you definitely gonna feel it on the third one. So she's gonna put the resistant band on and she's gonna do the weight. So a lot more difficult. Again, she's gonna get into in a fetal position, chest on the mat, tuck in a little bit more. All right, ready? Set number 3, variation number 3, resistant band and a weight. Ready? Up, hold. Hold it for 30. So this is a glute burner, so try it. Not many people can do it with the resistant band and the weight. So you may want to just keep with the variation number 1 or variation number 2 and gradually build up to variation number 3. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 30. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, you're not getting up high. 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good job. So keep the band on. We're going to do exercise number 3. Both those exercises, the number 1 and number 2, are hip abductors. So they do engage your hips and your glutes. So this one here is a hip adductor as well, but you can do it laying down. Works a different variation of your glute. So go ahead and lay down. We're using the resistant band. So feet on your heels. When you do these, stay on your heels. Put your feet at a 45-degree angle and then open your legs as far as you can. She's going to hold it for 30 seconds. So on her heels, 45-degree angle, separate her feet as far as she can go, then open her legs. She's going to hold it for 30 seconds. Now, when she do the reps, she wants to keep that tension on her legs. So don't let it collapse back in. Just let it go back in about 2 inches and then pulse it out. 1, 2, 3. You want to keep that tension on the glute the whole time. So you don't want to release that tension. All right, give me 30 reps. See how she's staying on outside? She's pulsing it. She's not going all the way in. You do it that way. Add a little squeeze at the top. When you open it up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You do 30 like that, you'll definitely feel the glutes versus sitting here doing rapid. You're not going to get it's not as effective with holding it and then doing those squeezes in between each rep. So exercise number 3, 30-second holds, 30 reps. So we're going to do it again. If you wanted to make this a little bit more difficult, get you a harder resistant band. And it gets to a point the harder resistant band gets too easy. Put 2 resistant bands on. Put a heavy and a light one. Then if that gets too easy, go to a heavy and a medium. And that gets too easy, go to a heavy and a heavy. There's always levels to working out to progressive overload. If it's in there and you're not getting a gain, you don't feel a burn, it's too easy. Make it challenging. All right. Ready, Adrian? One more set and then we'll do another variations. Ready? Let's go. So what Adrian has on is a heavy band. So if I wanted to make it a little bit more difficult, I'll have her put a light band with the heavy band, make it a little bit more difficult. Or I can come over there and add some tension to myself. So if I was actually training her, I'll add my tension with the resistant band to make it a little bit more difficult. 3, 2, 1, let's go, 30. Like I said, don't go fast, squeeze it, and you want to pulse it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you go out, squeeze it when you go out. So this is exercise number 3, set number 2. So always do about 3 sets minimum. But if you're really trying to get that glute atrophy, you're trying to get that more, your glutes to be more lifted, I would advise you to do about 5 sets. And stick with 3 to 5 exercises when you're doing it. Now, when you're doing 3 to 5 exercises, you need to do more than 3 sets and then take your time with the sets. If you really want to grow, you shouldn't be doing glutes every day. You got to allow your glutes time to recover. If you're doing glutes every day, you're not going to get as much gain as you do glutes twice a day, hitting it twice hard. So when you do glutes, give it about a 48-hour time period before you hit it again. So if you do glutes Monday, wait till Wednesday to do glutes. And then Friday, that's where that, if you want to do a 15, 20 minutes, if you're really trying to grow it, 3 times max, but 2 times minimum that you should do it. All right, Adrian? Exercise number 4, go ahead and sit up. So her hand's gonna be behind and her chest is gonna be close to her thighs. Same positioning, feet apart. And she's on her heels. Ready? Pull it apart, hold it for 30 seconds. So this is exercise number 4. When you hold that time over tension, you'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to know which glute you're activating as well. So this is exercise number 4. So all these exercises can be done at home or in the garage, and you can do it at the gym. But I would, if you actually do 3 to 5 sets and you use the weights and the resistance band, by the time you get to the second or third glute exercise, your glutes should be on fire. All right, give me 30 reps. So again, when she's doing her reps, pulse it, go as far as you can, squeeze it on the outside, come in, squeeze, come in, squeeze, come in. Don't do this. You're not gonna get as good as results as really squeezing each. So you're making each rep count. Be intentional with your workouts, be intentional with your reps. Just don't sit there and do it just to be doing it. Good. So that was exercise number 4. How your glutes feel?
Burn.
See? And we only did like 1 or 2 sets. So the last one, we're gonna do the hip thrust. So we're gonna set up for it. We got the bench here. We're gonna use a resistance band and we're gonna use weights. So we'll set up for number 5, so stay tuned. Exercise number 5, we're gonna do the hip thrust with the resistance band and with the bar with some weight. So with the hip thrust, that works your glute medius. With the hip thrust, that works your glute maximus. We added a band in here to engage your hip abductors, which engages your glute medius. So it's a glute maximus and a medius. So it's going to engage both. Now, technique matters in this one. She's going to angle her feet at a 45-degree angle, and then she's going to be on her heels. Reason on your heels, whenever you're doing anything glute related, if you push off your heels only, you're activating your glute, which is the strongest muscle in your body, which is the glute. So while she's doing the 30-second hold, she's gonna stay on her heels. Remember, feet at a 45-degree angle, and then she's gonna open up her legs as far as she can. Now her stance is about a little bit outside of her shoulder length. And then, so that way when she come up, she can engage the hip adductors while she's engaging her glute maximus. So we're just going to use the 45-pound bar, no weights other than the bar, and we're using a medium resistant band. Okay, ready? So we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. Ready? Up, stay on your heels. Make sure her legs are opened up as far as you can. Squeeze those glutes. You don't want to overextend. You just want to almost like flat and squeeze those glutes. Make sure you're breathing. You feel it? Nah, not yet. Wait till you get to the reps. So she's going to hold it for 30. And then she's going to pulse with it. When she comes up, she's going to squeeze. Not super fast. Good. 30. Squeeze. 1. There you go. 2. Keep those legs apart. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Squeeze. 8, 9, 10.
It burns. The bends make it worse.
Yes. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Slow it down a little bit more. See, she's not going real fast. Now I'm gonna tell on the last 10 reps, she's gonna slow it down, squeeze like a 1-2 squeeze. 1-2. Ready? Squeeze. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. 1-2. Squeeze. 1-2. 6. 1-2. Squeeze. 1-2. 1-2. 8. 1-2. 9. 1-2. 10. Good. So those are 5 glute exercises. If it was super easy, even though that's just a 45-pound bar, she would have just flew through those 30 reps. So the time over tension, holding it for 30 seconds, really engages those primary muscles in your glutes. So by the time you get to the reps, they're already fired up. So that burnout reps right behind it, it really fires up those glutes. So those are our 5 glute exercises. Try them. As you see, none of those 5 exercises, we rushed through it. We took our time. Technique matters. So if you're suffering from glute atrophy, you're struggling to grow your glutes, take your time with these 5 exercises and be consistent with them. You don't have to do super heavy weight to be able to grow your glutes. Now, you can, if all these exercises with the time over tension, that is your weight. And you just add more time over tension if you wanted to go a little heavier. So try these, be consistent with it for 3 to 6 months and watch how your glutes start to lift up or you start to feel a lot stronger in your glutes. Remember, it's not just for aesthetics. Your glutes are very important for stabilizing your body, especially the hip abductions. So your glute medius is one of the most important glute muscles you can train because it helps stabilizes your hips. So if you're suffering back problems, knee problems, engage those glutes, activate them. And if you're suffering, only feeling one glute more than the other, those first 2 exercises that isolate your glutes, do 5 sets instead of 3. And then you can do the other 3, 4, 5 exercises. You can do 3 sets. So start off with the isolations and then go into both legs. Because a lot of times when you have imbalances in your hips, a lot of times you do feel it, like I only feel it on one side. So start with the isolations and then go into the other 3 exercises. Adrian, thank you.
Thank you.
See, she was feeling it. So thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, reach out, leave us a comment. Have a good night.